faking the grade.
It's a sad fact. Teenagers get into more fatal accidents than any other age group. But before they get behind the wheel, many of them will take a driver's ed class. Now 7 News has learned the person teaching that class may have driven around state requirements.
Yes, I'm not a certified driver ed teacher.
Bennett Packman is a physical education teacher. Last fall, he says he was told he would also be teaching driver's ed at American High in Miami Lakes, even though he's not qualified.
I never taught the course before.
Packman says American High gave him dozens of student waivers to sign as the instructor. If he signed them, the students would not have to take the state written test to get their license. He refused.
Lives are at stake here. People are out on the road with a 3,000-pound vehicle.
The state requires teachers take 3 college courses before they can teach driver's ed. That's more than 100 hours of instruction. But Packman says authorities at American wanted him to take a shortcut.
And at the same time, they were putting pressure on me to take a one-day course by a Bill McCoggle.
Bill McCoggle is a physical education teacher at Palmetto High School in Pinecrest. On the side, he runs a company that offers accredited courses for educators through out-of-state colleges. But how much teaching happened has become an issue. When McCoggle did not return phone calls, we caught up with him after school. My understanding is that you charge teachers $2,000 for a one-day course for certification.
It's wrong.
Can you tell me what you did charge them then?
$775.
The credits for South Florida teachers came from this school, Eastern Oklahoma State College. And when Oklahoma education authorities found out about that arrangement, the college president was forced to resign.
We're unable to honor those credits.
Richard Bernard is the new president of Eastern. He says the school had no way of knowing if classes were ever held. Yet, through this agreement between McCoggle and the former president of Eastern, college credits were issued to Florida educators for everything from biology to driver's ed, without teachers possibly ever having to take the necessary coursework.
I think it does reflect poorly on the actions of Eastern under the old administration. I would not kid you about that.
The Oklahoma Board of Regents also investigated. Its final report shows one case so outrageous, a student received credits after being enrolled for only 4 days.
How many credits were given, we know. How many courses were held, we don't know.
The Regents report reveals 190 students, mostly teachers from Miami-Dade, took 340 courses for 1,639 college credits. After the investigation, the work was considered so questionable, all of the credits were denied.
There was every indication that these credits were not real. These credits were sham credits and certainly don't reflect the kind of standards that any legitimate higher education institution wants to have.
When 7 News checked the records for all of Miami-Dade's driver's ed teachers, we found credits from other out-of-state schools besides Eastern Oklahoma issued through McCoggle for the past 8 years. But McCoggle was too busy to talk about his business. What was your authority to do so?
Because I have a consultant.
A what? Could you stop and just talk to me for a minute?
No, I got a game.
Well, it's quite a few teachers. Oh, watch.
My principal to talk.
McCoggle didn't drive to a softball game. He went home. The Miami-Dade School District says it will be up to the state to determine the validity of teacher certifications. Are you concerned that you may have driver's education teachers, among others, who are not properly educated?
Well, certainly, that's a concern.
The Department of Motor Vehicles is also concerned.
We would not want the waivers to be issued by people who are not authorized to issue them.
Bennett Packman wasn't authorized. Now he's out of work. Packman thinks he is being blackballed because he wouldn't take part in faking the grade.
If the price I have to pay is temporary unemployment or fight with the Dade County schools, if it saves some lives, great, I'll pay the price.
It appears there is no regulation of companies that offer long-distance learning programs. But the state is looking into what went on here, and Bennett Packman has agreed to talk with Miami-Dade's Inspector General. It would be a shame to learn we have teachers who cheated. Carmel Cafaro, 7 News.
Saying that 4 alone earned some $345,000 of your tax dollars that they did not deserve. This is retired Palmetto High School phys ed teacher William McCoggle, just indicted by a Miami-Dade County grand jury on first-degree felony charges of grand theft and organized fraud, accused of arranging fake college credits through a contact at Eastern Oklahoma State College for Miami-Dade public school teachers so they could get recertified or promoted without earning the qualifications.
And lo and behold, all of these teachers who went to no classes, had no homework, had no assignments, no tests, overnight they remain certified.
Well, I think we've hit the tip of the iceberg. I think
Bennett Packman is the teacher who blew the whistle, telling Carmel he was ordered to teach driver's ed at American High by a principal who told him he could get the fake certification through McCoggle. Packman refused.
Lives are at stake here. People are out on the road with a 3,000-pound vehicle.
But at this news conference, the state attorney revealed at least 100 Miami-Dade teachers paid McCoggle for fake credentials.
As teachers, on the one hand, they espoused hard work, lots of effort. That was from the front of the classroom. But behind the scenes, they were working in dark corners of our educational system to cheat their way to success.
The grand jury also indicted 26-year-old James Majors, accused of using fake transcripts to get teacher certification, to look as if he had a master's degree, then a PhD, teaching biology to Miami-Dade middle school students for more than a year, even failing 22 of them.
We submitted fake certificates, fake degrees, went into the classroom, taught 300 students, and had the audacity to fail 22 of them.
Clearly,
Since then, McCoggle has been indicted and now faces felony charges for running sham courses. But Herb Cousins, the Inspector General for Miami-Dade Schools, says the investigation is far from over.
You must be sure to understand that that's only phase one. Stay tuned.
So far, more than 100 teachers may still be reprimanded for claiming they took other courses through Eastern Oklahoma State and McCoggle. But all of those teachers are still in the classroom, although they may not be there by the end of the year. Since the state attorney's office did not file charges against them, the school district now has to build cases for disciplinary action.
What we're trying to do is get what we need to act against teachers who cheated.
Herb Cousins, however, maintains the district has all it needs to take action.
Administrative reviews are conducted throughout this country in school districts based on allegations with less information than what I have provided.
Bennett Packman is a PE teacher who refused to cheat and who blew the whistle on the bogus courses.
And I said, no way, I'm taking this sham course. He said, I hope you're a really good teacher, Mr. Packman, because I'm going to single you out.
He says he couldn't teach under a principal who ordered him to use Bill McCoggle's course for certification as a driver's education instructor. But his honesty came at a cost. He couldn't continue in his old job and couldn't find a new one.
I went for 60 jobs and I didn't get one of them.
Do you think you were blackballed?
I know I was blackballed.
Now, even after a grand jury report backed him up, Packman says he hasn't been able to get his back pay.
Oh, well, they took away 1 year's salary. I mean, that's what I need to survive. They owe me 40 grand.
Well, shouldn't he be given a pat on the back instead of a hard time?
Well, the district has worked with Mr. Packman.
Joseph Garcia didn't want to discuss specifics, but says efforts are being made to resolve things. And Bennett Packman is pleased to be teaching at Carroll City High this year. He believes his reputation is being restored. In the meantime, retired teachers with solid driver's ed credentials are being brought in to fill the void left by those teachers who were reassigned.
I want no other teacher to have to go through what I went through.
To avoid problems in the future, the Miami-Dade District is considering coming up with its own course to teach its teachers driver's ed. And that's one way to make sure teachers earn and not fake the grade.
Carmel Cafaro, 7 News.
Now the superintendent of schools taking action. Investigative reporter Carmel Cafaro with the story now.
It would be my intent to fire these people.
Miami-Dade School Superintendent Rudy Crew was talking tough about cheating teachers. At issue, bogus college credits allegedly bought, not earned, through this man, Bill McCoggle, a now retired PE teacher at Palmetto High in Pinecrest.
There is every indication that these credits were not real.
Despite that report,